Welcome back to the Embody Her Now channel. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning back, thank you so much for tuning in. This channel was created to talk about all things subconscious rewiring, nervous system healing and regulation, and learning how to embody the energy or the frequency of your divine self so that you can truly activate your purpose, your calling, and obviously more abundance into your life. Now, if you're new here or if you've been watching my videos, you may know that I am a spiritual mentor and somatic practitioner, and I work with women to help them not only release stored energy or trauma or emotions, whatever you want to call it, from their body to restore their own energy within their body and allow it to flow through how it's meant to, how it's designed to. And I also help women to reprogram their subconscious. Now, let's get into today's video where I want to talk about the number one mistake that driven women are making when it comes to blocking their abundance. And it is something that most women may not actually realize because it's seeing beyond what the eye can see. It's identifying something energetically that's going on that they aren't fully aware of. And this is one of the most common things that I do see with German women who are wanting to create more abundance in their life, or they want to activate more of their purpose and their calling, or they just want to feel more fulfilled in their life. They don't want to continue feeling like a slave of their past. They don't want to continue to make everything such a struggle in their life. Regardless of whichever woman you are, may be, I see this and I saw this so much in myself in the beginning when I was really trying to figure out what am I meant to be doing. I have shared in a couple of other videos before about how I was introduced into the workforce. I briefly touched on it that I very quickly realized that the corporate world was not for me. But because I realized this at such a young age and I still had a lot of learning and experience to gain, it felt very confusing for me, not really knowing what my purpose was. And it felt like I was working really, really hard. I am very naturally driven. It felt like I was working really hard to build a business and to just be more successful in what I believed was considered successful in my life. And I see now that I'm on the other side of that, I can see it in other women so clearly now after I've been able to make this shift energetically and subconsciously of why so many women are really blocking the abundance that they really desire. And the reason for this is because women are achieving their goals and what they want in their life. They're creating their life from this hustle mindset. And I'm not here to say that hustling is bad. I know there's like a war online between hustling and um, not hustling. I don't think hustling's bad. However, hustling from a masculine energy is what is blocking abundance for so many driven women, and they don't even realize that this is what's going on energetically. They don't even realize that this is how they are showing up because we've been taught to work hard from a masculine place because the masculine energy has been running the show for as long as we can remember, right? It's been running the show for generations upon generations. And therefore, now that women have all of these rights, women can build a career now, women can become financially successful, a woman can do anything a man can do now with how the laws have changed. However, the woman has been wired to achieve in the same way that a man achieves. And this is why so many women are hitting a wall. They're blocking their abundance and the life that they truly want, because we aren't wired to operate this way, especially over a long period of time. And that's why so many women, successful women, whether they are in a career and they're leading a company in some way and they're in a very high level position, or they have their own business, or even a mother, is so many of these women, it's they're leading to things like burnout and overwhelm, or they may be optimizing in one area of their life but another area of their life is suffering or is falling apart. Or a lot of women right now are experiencing a lot of hormonal issues, health issues, and can't sustain what they're building or what they're creating long term, because again, it is built from a very masculine place. Now, the reason that women are doing this is because it's all we know. This is what we've been taught to do. We've officially entered society in a way that a masculine man can be and show up in. And obviously, our way of coming into it is going to probably mirror the masculine. But now that we're realizing that it's not really working well for us, it doesn't mean that we need to give up all of our rights and go back to how things were. That's the other end of the extreme as well. But now that we've really experienced being in a man's world and building our careers, our life, our finances, like everything from a man's the way that a man operates and does it for himself, we are realizing the toll that it is having on our bodies and on our life. Now, there is a major shift that is happening with the collective, in addition to these really big and extreme realizations for the feminine, which is that the divine feminine has been awakening in so many women, and it's really calling her to stop operating from her masculine. Now, this isn't to say that masculine energy is bad or that women shouldn't have masculine energy. We definitely need to be able to flow between our feminine and our masculine, and there's a purpose for our masculine. However, when it comes to creating our life and building our life and shifting into our mission and purpose, everything that we're doing, we need to tap into that and build from our life force energy, which is the divine feminine. And that's why so many women, again, they're awakening to that. They're starting to realize that maybe the life that they have built is not it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel fully aligned. It feels like she's had to completely empty her tank in order to get there, in order to build it. Or maybe she built a successful career at the expense of being a mother, or at the expense of having a relationship and getting married and doing all of those things. However, when you are able to shift from your masculine to your divine feminine, you can hold it all. You can have the successful career or business. You can have the financial wealth success. You can be a mother and a present mother and raise your children. You can have a beautiful relationship with your spouse. You get to have it all, but that's when you're doing it from the divine feminine energy. So it's not about giving up your dreams and saying that, oh well, because I built this thing or I want this thing, but like it's leading to hormonal issues, it's leading to immune disorders or whatever. Maybe you're experiencing some kind of health issue, or maybe you just feel so exhausted, like your body is completely burnt out and has nothing left to give. That is an indicator that it is time for you to start building your life, building your legacy from your divine feminine, which is your life force. And I promise you that when you make this energetic shift, you will not feel burnt out. You will not feel overwhelmed by all of the moving parts, because the shift that starts to happen is that you become more in tune with the action that you really need to be taking, versus from the masculine place it's more, you're doing more, you are focused on taking more linear action, whereas from the divine feminine you're able to tune more into the divine, literally your higher self. And because you're shifting from the masculine, which is doing and giving, the feminine is receiving, she is trusting. So instead of doing more to get the outcome that you are looking for, when you shift into your divine feminine, you are pulling more in. You are becoming this energetic match to where you only need to take action and shift into your masculine when it is being revealed to you. And that's why I call it the divine feminine, because it's your godlike essence. And that is why it feels so hard in your masculine, and you're taking action and you're constantly putting in effort. But you do not need to put in as much effort when you are in your divine feminine, because it starts to reveal itself to you of when you actually need to take action. And that action that you take, because it is so aligned, it is so attuned to where you are being called to take action, the results are tenfold. Versus if you were in your masculine and you're taking action and you're doing similar efforts, it's going to require more effort than it would over in your divine feminine. Think of it as, up until this point, women have been building their lives with a blindfold on their eyes. Imagine that is them living in their masculine, they're taking action. Look at what women are able to do when they have a blindfold over their eyes. Now imagine you are taking off this blindfold and now you can actually see where you're going. Imagine the abundance that you are able to create and pull into your life when you finally take off the blindfold. That is how the divine feminine operates and builds her life. And that is why she has been awakening in so many women. And maybe for so many women, maybe for yourself, you have experienced the extreme end of what it means to build from your masculine. Maybe you have a health issue, maybe you manifested an autoimmune disorder or something along those lines. That is your higher self calling you to move out of your masculine and shift into your divine feminine. Now I'm going to share with you, because you're probably asking, well, how do I make that shift? How do I go from operating my life in my masculine energy to shifting into my divine feminine and this being normal for me? It doesn't feel like I have to try to operate my life from my feminine. Well, you may not be surprised that I'm going to say is the first step is you must heal your nervous system. You must regulate and get out of a dysregulated state. Now, a dysregulated state can look different in many women, but for many women, a lot of this can look like feeling numb to your emotions and your body, being very out of touch. Again, you're living very much in the mental plane. That is very masculine. Once you can learn how to heal your nervous system and regulate it to really get things under control, that's when you can really build off of it and expand more into your feminine. But this must be the first step. You can't skip this step. And this is what I take women through in my program is we teach you how to actually shift out of your dysregulated state to become very, very aware of how it looks like in your life, how it's showing up in your life, to become highly aware of that and teach you how to actually regulate in those moments, regardless of if they are really big moments where you feel super dysregulated, or it's kind of, for many women, it's in the background of your life. You don't even realize how dysregulated you are until we start teaching you these techniques to attune to your body and recognize when it actually is in a dysregulated state. So many women end up realizing how dysregulated their body truly is, but because they've been in such a dysregulated state for so long, they've really like turned off all of the messages that your body has been sending. Again, they're living from a very mental plane. They're very disconnected from the body. And again, it goes back to what some of the health issues that it can lead to for a lot of women that come into my world. Not all of them, but some of them have some kind of chronic pain that has been going on for a long period of their life. That is another symptom that can show that you are in a dysregulated state, that your body's asking for your attention, but you've kind of tuned it out. It's become your normal. So that needs to be the first place that you start, is working with the nervous system. And maybe you're familiar with nervous system work, or maybe you've been hearing a lot of people talk about nervous system work. This isn't an accident. This isn't a coincidence that I'm talking about nervous system, that maybe you see a lot of people on the internet talking about the nervous system. This is why, because it is so foundational for the divine feminine to fully activate, to fully come online. You cannot skip this step. So I do have a 7-day nervous system reset, that if you are new to nervous system work or you're learning about the nervous system, this is a great place to start, to introduce you to some different techniques to really get in tune and recognize how you can start regulating your nervous system. The other thing that I have is my program that is called 6 Weeks to Release Your Old Identities and Embody Your Soul Essence. This is my signature program that not only will teach you how to heal your nervous system, but it walks you through how to rewire your subconscious, how to release the old identities, the old beliefs that cannot come with you as you shift into this divine feminine, as you shift into your divine work and your divine purpose. It walks you through how to work with the body, work with the subconscious, so that you can fully activate the version within you that is trying to come online right now, that is really trying to activate. The reason that it can't fully activate and fully come online with you is because of the body components of it, the mind components of it that are blocking it. It's tainting your energy. So you must restore your energy, your life force, the flow within your energy body. And that is everything I teach you inside this program. Right now, you can join the waitlist, and it will be reopening in early 2026. Everyone who is on the waitlist is going to receive an amazing deal by being on the waitlist and joining early. But if you are watching this beyond January 2026 and you want to learn more about joining this self-paced program, I will be sure to link it below so that you can get access to it as well. All right, if this video is helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe, as this is content that I will continue to be sharing on. If you are on a healing journey, if you are trying to really embody who you're meant to be and activate your divine gifts, activate your purpose and calling, this is definitely the channel to be following.